Good morning, Ron, and good morning, everyone. It's Monday, March 16th. Here's what's happening. Pope Leo XIV, during his Angelus address yesterday, said faith opens our eyes to the suffering of humanity. Preaching on this Sunday's gospel reading of the blind man healed by Jesus, the Holy Father said faith, quote, should open our eyes to the darkness of the world and bring to others the light of the gospel through our commitment to peace, justice, and solidarity. The Holy Father also called for world leaders to end the war in Iran. He said, quote, in the name of Christians in the Middle East and of all women and men of goodwill, cease the fire. Let paths of dialogue be reopened. Meanwhile, in Lebanon this weekend, hundreds took part in the funeral for Father Pierre El-Rahi, who was killed by Israeli tank fire last week. Bishop Elias Nassar and Archbishop Charbel Abdallah of Tyre celebrated the funeral mass. Maronite Patriarch Cardinal Becerra Boutros Al-Rahi, in a message read on his behalf, said Father Al-Rahi was a, quote, zealous and courageous pastor, and a man marked by, quote, priestly virtues, filled with divine grace. The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations says conversations are ongoing with countries to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Mike Waltz made the comments on CNN's State of the Union as oil supplies being disrupted by the military conflict with Iran. Waltz said the U.S. will certainly welcome, encourage, and even demand the participation of countries to help their own economies. On Saturday, President Trump said the UK, China, France, and other countries should send warships to the narrow strait to guard oil shipments. The FBI says the suspect who drove a truck into a synagogue near Detroit Thursday died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Gonzalez's vehicle, his engine compartment catches on fire, and at some point during the gunfight, Gonzalez suffers a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head.
Security officers fired shots at his vehicle, and the truck burst into flames when it crashed into Temple, Israel. Authorities have identified the man who drove the truck as 41-year-old Ayman Mohammed Ghazali, who was born in Lebanon and immigrated to the U.S. in 2011. Ghazali's truck was carrying a large amount of fireworks along with jugs of gasoline. He reportedly had posted online the night before that several of his relatives had been killed in an Israeli airstrike in southern Lebanon. And Duke is the top overall seed, with Arizona, Michigan, and Florida the number one seeds for this year's men's NCAA basketball tournament. NC State, Texas, SMU, and Miami of Ohio were the last four teams selected for the field. The tournament gets underway with the first four games taking place tomorrow and Wednesday, with the final four set for April 4th in Indianapolis. I'm Matthew Handley, and that is the news this morning. Back we go now to Toledo. Here's Ron, Dave, and Pat.